Hello everyone, I'm Cedric Derecho, and welcome back to this edition of the Lakehurst Centennial Series. Today we're going to be covering the Lakehurst railroad industry, an integral part of Lakehurst's past. William Torrey brings the railroad to Manchester. When William Torrey came to present-day Lakehurst in 1841, he sought to create a railroad empire in the Pines and laid the foundation for a railroad industry that would last more than a century. He first established a wooden railroad in 1841 from present-day Lakehurst to Toms River. However, this first attempt at building a railroad in Ocean County soon failed. The Raritan and Delaware Bay Railroad. In 1854, years after the failing of the first wooden railroad, Torrey and 9 other investors formed the Raritan and Delaware Bay Railroad Company. A line was built running from Raritan Bay to Cape May. Manchester, present-day Lakehurst, was intended to be the hub of the rail line. The railroad shops at Lakehurst were built just prior to the start of the American Civil War, including a roundhouse. In 1863, it connected with the Camden and Atlantic Railroad at 85 miles long and becoming the longest line in the state. To your right is a picture of old script notes, which would have been paid to workers of Torrey's railroad. These notes were redeemable at the Torrey Company store where they could be used to purchase goods. Following the collapse of the Raritan and Delaware Bay Railroad Company, in 1867, the Central Railroad of New Jersey took over the Lakehurst maintenance shops and station, becoming the largest employer in town. Torrey brought over many immigrant workers from Scotland, Ireland, and Italy to work on the railroad. Many of the cottages these immigrants built still stand on Hibernia Avenue, a one-block stretch linking Route 70 and Center Street in Lakehurst. Located on Vase Lane in Lakehurst, the Central Railroad of New Jersey was the largest employer in town from the mid-1800s until the 1930s. The industry dominated the area. In this photograph taken in 1905, it shows the repairman of the roundhouse, whose job was to inspect the locomotives. These other 2 photographs, also taken in 1905, showcase the workers of the Lakehurst maintenance shops. Years later, over a century later in fact, in 1989, an archaeological dig was conducted on the site of the old maintenance shops where a lot of evidence still remained from the days of the railroad industry. The end of the passenger rail era. The Blue Comet train offered a lavish passenger experience, but was another casualty of the Great Depression. The railroad industry in Lakehurst went through significant financial strife as a whole during the Depression, and the maintenance shops were soon torn down. By the 1950s, passenger service from Lakehurst ceased altogether. The railroad station on Union Avenue was torn down in 1962. For nearly a century, Lakehurst was a bona fide railroad town, and a ton of evidence from this bygone era still remains. To see more, visit the Lakehurst, New Jersey Historical Society Museum on Center Street from Wednesday or Sundays from 12:30 to 3 p.m. Here you'll see workmen's journals, photographs, tools, and more, including an old model of the Blue Comet train. Thanks so much for watching. This has been another installment of the Lakehurst, New Jersey Centennial Series.